Hello there. Are the hopes by Remainers of a post-Brexit EU-UK customs union really just a route to saving face for the 48% that lost the referendum? Soon after the 2016 referendum, I got the impression that, although there is a hard core of those that want us fully committed to the EU whatever, there are others who are looking for some sort of 48% face-saving solution. Something that says, yes, the 52% won, but the 48% had a very legitimate point that should be woven into any post-Brexit agreement. And that solution, the argument goes, would be to stay in a customs union with the EU. So we're 52% out and 48% in sort of thing. It all sounds so beguiling and almost reasonable, doesn't it? And writing in The Guardian along those lines, David Shariatmadari says that, given that the UK is split, it's only fair if the government delivers Brexit in name only, as is looking increasingly likely. And I say, no chance. Had the vote been reversed, we would now be looking at enhanced EU membership or even going the whole hog, Schengen, Euro, EU army and all. Had it been 52% remain, 48% leave, would there be talk of pulling back from the EU to respect the views of the 48%? No, there would not. And you cannot be half in and half out. We voted out, and that is that. Out we must go. Now to the Lords. Yesterday's shenanigans in the chamber of the House of Lords has left furious Tory ministers demanding that the revolting pro-EU Tories be sacked from their cushy government jobs and quango positions, says The Sun. Whips in the House of Lords are taking aim at 24 Remainer rebels, urging the Prime Minister to strip them of public appointments in revenge for voting against the government's policy to leave the EU's customs union, says the paper. Well, I think that there will be a huge number of ordinary Brits out there thinking exactly the same thing, but on a far grander scale of let's just scrap the whole lot. And as The Sun has already pointed out previously, the EU forks out over £500,000 a year in pensions to 30 former MEPs and officials in the Lords. They include 7 ex-European commissioners who swore an oath of loyalty to Brussels that means they risk losing their pension if they attack their old institutions. But crucially it seems that these peers do not have to declare any conflict of interest here. It just stinks, doesn't it? Does anything that the EU is connected with ever pass the sniff test? Moving on, the EU has once again rubbished the UK's proposals to solve the Irish border question, with Michel Barnier, the EU chief Brexit negotiator, saying that overall we are 75% agreed on the talks, but that the 25% that is left could still derail any eventual deal. And the Telegraph reports that senior EU diplomatic sources are saying that UK border proposals had been subjected to a systematic and forensic annihilation, something that a Number 10 spokesman said that the UK side did not recognise. Speaking on the BBC Daily Politics programme, Tory MEP David Campbell-Bannerman said that the bigger picture of an overall customs partnership may be in difficulty, but that, on the technical side, I don't agree with that at all. I've done my own paper, and Lars Carlson, the EU's own advisor, has come up with a solution already. What the EU's doing, the game plan, is to use the Northern Ireland border issue to keep us locked in the customs union because, as Katja Adler's reported, they're terrified, to use her words, of us being super competitive outside of the EU. Campbell-Bannerman was no doubt referring to a report in February by the BBC reporter Katja Adler when she said of the EU, They are terrified about us becoming this super competitive country just right close to them and sucking in business that they would then lose out on. So absolutely they are very worried about that. And they're rapidly on their computers saying, how does this all add up? And the BBC reports today that Number 10 is still confident that a deal on the Irish border question will be reached. It must be obvious to even the most casual of observers that the EU has latched onto this one area in the negotiations to try and keep control over a Brexit Britain that now wants to start flexing its international trade muscles. And I can't for the life of me understand why the ordinary Remain voter still clings on to this hopeless EU organisation. Maybe it's just a pride thing, not caring what damage it does to the UK as long as we can be kept in the EU. And the EU should be worried because the good Brexit news keeps coming in. City AM reports that the City of London has regained the crown it lost in 2014 of being the world's top financial centre. Monique Mellis, the head of regulatory consulting for the firm that ran the survey, Duff and Phelps, said, "Perversely, Brexit has provided the backdrop for showing the importance of London in the global capital markets. London has a tried and tested legal system, very strong service providers, and a very strong legal community that understands capital markets. People who operate in London understand how firms are liquidated, which is very important, and the merger and acquisition environment in London is much more benign and business-friendly than elsewhere in Europe. Things may get harder for the city after Brexit, and New York will always be there as a competitor, but it is now up to the UK to drive its own success forward. And the airliners will still keep flying after Brexit. When one SNP politician, Peter Grant, challenged the Transport Minister about the coming flight crisis, Chris Grayling replied, "That is not accurate at all. If you listen to the chief executives of IG or EasyJet or a number of other airlines. I have had one airline come to my desk and suggest that they are concerned about the situation." Now I'll give you all a moment to guess which airline that would be. Mr. Grayling then went on to say, "I can tell you that I have spoken to my counterparts and they snort with derision at the idea that planes won't fly." And the UK tech business is also doing well. Writing in Brexit Central, Matt Hancock says that Britain's tech sector dwarfs the rest of Europe. And it's not just in London, that success is spread right across the country, and now we have Tech Nation, a nationwide organisation that aims to nurture and boost our tech vitality. "The good tech news keeps coming," he writes. Also this week, figures released in a report by law firm Pennington March revealed that investments last year into UK tech businesses reached a record £1.1 billion. Arriving alongside that, new research by real estate firm Savills found that tech firms are investing unprecedented sums in offices in the City of London. And he says that it's clear that we are ahead of the pack in this. And looking at the figures involved, we are well ahead of the pack. More comforting news. So, please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below, but also don't forget to grab the video link and share it across Facebook, Twitter and by email. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.